Hello and welcome to the Radiate Wellness Podcast with your host, metaphysician, Reiki master, and hypnotherapist, Christy Clemens Hoffman. Each week, we will discover teachings, tips, and tools to radiate your best life ever with practitioners, authors, and luminaries to help you on your path. Wellness, joy, peace, abundance. What do you want to radiate?
Hello and welcome back to the Radiate Wellness Podcast. Today we radiate your inner goddess with author Elina Allais, who is the author of Crystals for Your Inner Goddess. Welcome, Elina. Nice to see you.
Hi, nice to see you as well.
Thank you. You're in Estonia.
Yes, I'm not sure if many listeners have heard about Estonia, but it's a tiny country in Northern Europe, near Sweden and Finland, so it's quite cold in the winter.
What's it like now in the summer?
Well, we have some nice summer weather, like beach weather, but right now it's a bit rainy, so yeah.
It's been rainy here in Kansas City as well, I have to say. Oh my goodness. So yes, you are the author of Crystals for Your Inner Goddess, which is a book all about crystal healing. Yeah, can you tell us a bit about why you chose to write this book?
I decided to write Crystals for Your Inner Goddess mainly to empower and inspire women to live our lives to the fullest. So my main message is that each one of us has this power to make our dreams come true, and that crystals can help us do that.
So how can crystals help us to achieve our dreams and make our dreams come true?
There are so many ways to work with crystals, but I think that crystals, even if we just decorate our homes with crystals, or even if we wear them as jewelry, they will still affect our consciousness. They will uplift our energies, and also they can enhance our intuition, which is our inner guidance system. So if we're connected to our intuition, it's much easier for us to make choices in life that serve our highest good.
Mm-hmm.
And so crystals can kind of help us step into our power, and they can boost our self-confidence in a way. Some crystals have these properties that boost our personal power and confidence and energy levels.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. I agree. You can't see the rest of my office. I've got crystals all over the place. Now, there are many books out there about crystals. I've had some authors to discuss their books on crystals here on this show. What makes your book so different?
So I feel that women empowerment message is what makes it stand out from other books about crystal healing. So I just wanted each woman to realize how amazing she is, and that we've all got the power to make our dreams come true. So I think this combination of this spiritual insights and personal growth message and crystal healing is what makes it so special. Yeah.
Now, I noticed in your bio that you have a background of pole dancing, or at least you like pole dancing.
Yeah, I do. It's something that empowers me personally. Like, I feel it's something that gives me a boost of confidence and even boost of self-worth. And it makes me just feel connected to my feminine energies.
How did you get started with pole dancing?
It's a bit like with crystals. I just felt like an instant pull to do it. I just felt it's something like my thing. I don't know. It's actually hard to explain. I just felt, and I've actually never taken a class or a lesson in pole dancing. I do it at home. I have a pole at home, and so I just turn on some music and I'm in my flow. It's my zone to relax and feel good about myself.
I love that. Maybe we all need to be pole dancing, all of us.
Maybe. Yeah, it definitely can't hurt, I think.
Right. I did a boudoir photo shoot one time and it was really empowering. I was nervous and self-conscious, but it made me feel really good and empowered. So I can see where something like that would be, uplifting for women. So
yes.
Now, how long have you been into crystals and how'd you get started?
So around 7 years ago, I did a Reiki course in Thailand. I did my first level Reiki certificate in a small island in southern Thailand, and it was such a special experience. I would say it was life-changing. A spiritual portal opened up or something. After that, I just felt like these spiritual topics started coming into my life somehow. All kinds of opportunities and crystals came into my life, just like magic.
I do Reiki as well. I'm a Reiki master.
I
And
know, yes.
I can't imagine studying it in Thailand. What an amazing experience. How did you get over there?
It was just a holiday, but not like a short 2-month holiday, actually, in Thailand. Again, I felt like this is something I always wanted to do. Just Reiki seemed the right thing to me. But when I actually did the course, it was very personal, like almost one-on-one. And I really felt the energy. First time in my life, I actually felt energy and this kind of weird sensations all over my body.
Oh, did you really? That's
Yes.
fascinating.
Yes, before that, I guess I was a bit skeptical, but after that, it really opened my mind.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So
Yeah.
is that where you started this crystal healing journey
Yes.
then?
Yes, and then I started to research about energetic healing properties of crystals. And after that, I created my Crystal Poems Facebook page.
Oh,
So I started writing poems about crystals. And later on, I got a chance to write articles for a wonderful website called Forever Conscious.
oh wow.
So I did that for 5 years, maybe. I've written countless articles about crystals, like for each zodiac sign and for all the chakras. And I'm still writing articles for some global spiritual websites. So now I've got to the point where I finally have my own book published. It feels kind of unbelievable.
Amazing. So you write poetry about crystals too.
Yes, this is how I started. So I started by writing poems about their energetic healing properties. I just took one crystal and I thought somehow I rhymed the energetic properties into a poem.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I write poetry as well. And it is just
That's nice.
an amazing form just to like free flow and get the creativity flowing about things.
Yes, yeah, I do feel that.
You said you had a Facebook page for your poetry. Do you have a book of your poetry as well?
No, not yet. No.
Not yet.
Maybe someday. Yes.
Is this book on crystals your very first book that you've written?
I did publish an ebook, but that was a few years ago, and it was called The Inspiring Stories of 33 Crystals. It was just an ebook, no paperback or anything like that. So, yes.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So this book, Crystals for Your Inner Goddess,
Yes.
why the inner goddess? What do you mean about the inner goddess anyway?
I feel that our inner goddess is like the wild woman within ourselves. It's the powerful and passionate force within ourselves that drives us to transform our lives for the better and make our wildest dreams come true. So I actually really do believe that each one of us carries a divine spark within our soul, that we are more than just humans, that we have this divine essence. And so connecting with that part of ourselves can help us step into our power and make our dreams come true.
Yes, absolutely. Why do you think that so many women are still struggling to make their dreams come true and attracting abundance, success, or love?
I know that many women are actually suffering from abusive relationships or emotional trauma or even ancestral wounds that have been carried from one generation to the next. And all these things can hold us back. And also fear of rejection can hold us back from expressing ourselves. And if we don't express ourselves freely, we can kind of take on a role of a victim. We can suffer silently. And I feel like self-expression is crucial for feeling empowered and living a fulfilling life.
Right. And how can crystals help to?
I actually believe that crystals, they can gently guide us or nudge us to connect with this part of ourselves, this divine part, this inner goddess part, or our higher selves, or however we call it. It doesn't really matter. Our true essence, that crystals help us connect with this part, and they help us by boosting our self-worth, our personal power, especially the bright red, yellow, orange one. Those crystals boost our self-worth, and they can also help to unlock our intuition, which in a way helps us make the right choices in our lives. So all this helps to awaken our inner goddess.
And so the description on the back of the cover of the book says, within each woman, there is a goddess waiting to bloom.
Yes.
Who is this goddess? The Women in Podcasting Awards are an international People's Choice style of awards event, and we would love your vote. I'm Christy Clemens Hoffman, the host of this podcast you're listening to right now, and I'm up in 3 categories. First, the Health, Wellness, and Fitness podcast for the Radiate Wellness podcast, what you're listening to now. Also, Faith-Based podcast for Real Life Angel Encounters podcast. Also, as favorite expert guest. Again, that's me, Christy Clemens Hoffman. I would love your vote. Voting is open until October 1st. Please go to womeninpodcasting.net/vote to cast your vote. And thank you. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I would like to ask you a few simple favors. First of all, please rate, review, and share this podcast wherever you're listening. You know, it sounds like a simple little thing, and it is, but it has a huge impact for us because it helps other people find us in the podcasting algorithms. I don't know how it works, but I do know that it helps a lot. Next, if you would subscribe or follow wherever you're listening, whether that's YouTube or Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, wherever you're listening, just hit subscribe or follow, and that helps you and it helps us. It helps you because then you receive notifications when we have a new episode that's out. It helps us because, again, algorithm magic, I don't know what happens, but it helps. And then finally, you can support our podcast in a tangible way by going to radiatewellnesscommunity.com/podcast and then click on support the show. Now, we have a new feature too. We are now on Patreon. You can find us on Patreon. You can also find the link to Patreon when you go to radiatewellnesscommunity.com/podcast. So on Patreon, for $3 a month or $5 a month, you can support your metaphysical and spiritual growth. You can learn about upcoming guests, and you can get early and ad-free versions of the shows. So please support us. This podcast is free for you to listen, but we have costs, and quite frankly, they come out of my pocket. So if you like this content, if you get a lot out of it, please see what you can do to give back. Thank you so much.
To me, she's that passionate and powerful force within ourselves. This wild woman who is not afraid to walk her own path and to make her dreams come true. I feel that our inner goddess is our true essence, our higher self. So she knows her own worth. She's brave. And I really do believe that each woman is a goddess in a way. It's just a matter of awakening that inner goddess and connecting with those feminine qualities of sensuality, sensitivity, creativity. We all have these qualities, but we might be a bit disconnected from them, maybe, perhaps in our modern society. It might be.
How do we get disconnected from that inner goddess?
I guess our modern society might be a bit like career-oriented, or there's this straightforward rational thinking, which is very prevalent. And this rationality can, in a way, it can dim these feminine qualities of intuition and magic. It can kind of, or even sometimes the male dominance, this kind of straightforward rationality can suppress the creative force of feminine power. It can lessen it or make it kind of smaller make us feel smaller as women. Like if we are in our essence, we are more creative, more sensitive, but we might feel pressured by the society to be more masculine. And in order to compete in this world, in order to survive, to really be successful, we might feel the pressure to take on these masculine qualities.
That is so true. Well, how can we use crystals to get in touch with that inner goddess, wake her up?
I guess even if we just wear them as jewelry, or even if we just decorate our homes with crystals, they will already have an effect on us. But of course, we can work with crystals to actually like place them on our bodies, or meditate with crystals with a certain intention to enhance our intuition, or maybe to manifest something, because many crystals have strong manifestation properties. So these crystals can help us attract certain things into our lives, attract abundance or true love or anything else our heart desires. But I believe that crystals very gently bring us these messages from our higher self, and they just connect us with our true essence. Like we don't really even need to do anything. If we just surround ourselves with crystals or place them somewhere in our home or workspace, I think they will all already uplift the energy, our own energy, and the energy of the surrounding places. So they will make it like more high vibrational, and it's more like closer to the divine frequencies of love and light.
Absolutely. Do you have any favorite crystals that you like to work with?
They actually change from time to time depending on my gut feeling. So right now I would say Amazonite maybe. Then of course these protective ones like black tourmaline and black obsidian and shungite actually is quite an interesting stone. But for abundance, I use actually orange calcite is really good for abundance, and green aventurine, of course. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, those are great crystals. And I love that you put aventurine up at the top there, because I do love the aventurine. I took my aventurine bracelet off for the interview because I didn't want it clanking around, but one that I wear a lot, and got it in Sedona.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
it
many
looks beautiful, really.
Yes, it's lovely. So many colors.
So yeah. I love the colors.
Yeah. Agreed. And people are worried sometimes about getting it wrong with crystals. Can you make a mistake with crystals?
I don't think so. I feel like our own gut feeling is what actually works best. If we feel a pull towards any kind of crystal, it's probably meant for us. It will probably help us in a way, and we should just trust our own intuition and our gut feeling when choosing crystals.
I think so too, which is whatever feels right, whatever
exactly.
on toward, whatever just seems like it is speaking to you.
Yes.
Are there any crystals that we should maybe be careful with, or ones that we might buy that are not ethically sourced, or that might be difficult for beginners?
Actually, I don't think crystals will pose a problem. I mean, of course, there is the problem with ethical sourcing. I don't deny that. But I guess I just suggest doing maybe some online research or something for each crystal if you're intending to buy something. But otherwise, I think that crystals can't actually harm us. I think crystals are never forced, or their energies are never aggressive. I think that all crystals, they rather adjust to our own energy and our own energetic vibration, and very gently work with our own energies. So I don't think they can actually harm us in any way or anything like that.
Yeah, you would not believe some of the questions that I get from people.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because they know that everyone knows that crystals are very powerful. And so some people are afraid that maybe it's too powerful. Maybe I don't know what I'm.
Oh, okay.
Right. And what about buying crystals from the internet? I tend to shy away from that myself, but I know a lot of people who get some really beautiful crystals from the internet.
I do know that there are a lot of fake ones. Like nowadays, it's so easy to make like almost identical looking fake ones, and it might be really difficult to identify which ones are fake or which ones are real. So it might be a problem. I personally prefer buying them from actual crystal shops or not online, but I do have a few that I've ordered online, and they seem to be very real and work very well, actually. So I don't know, I guess each person should somehow feel into it, or maybe again do some research, which websites seem more genuine or more
Ethical.
yeah, more ethical.
Good
Um,
advice. And how can crystals help women break free from unhealthy and dysfunctional or toxic relationships, as you mentioned before?
I believe that they can help us basically mostly by boosting our self-worth and self-confidence.
Ah.
So if we feel confident and if we know our own worth, we are much less likely to tolerate toxic behavior or toxic relationships. And it's much easier for us to break free from these patterns if we actually believe in ourselves, if we know that we deserve the best life has to offer. So many of us, we are struggling with this. We feel like we don't actually deserve things, that we tend to hold ourselves back from all these great things life has to offer, because so many of us, they might actually feel that they are not deserving for some, whatever, maybe like a generational trauma or emotional trauma from toxic relationships. All of these can affect our self-worth, which can make us feel like we are not good enough or we don't deserve love and abundance. But we actually do, all of us really do deserve these things. So it's just a matter of like really believing this and knowing that we deserve all the best life has to offer. And I think crystals can connect us with this inner personal power and self-worth and intuition, of course, as I said. So some crystals can also directly unlock the flow of abundance. Those orange, yellow, red ones are really good for abundance. So if we believe that we deserve abundance, basically then all these good things can start flowing into our lives, and it's easier then to break free from the toxic patterns.
I know that I like to keep yellow citrine in my cash box when I go to fairs. And
Really?
those are powerful stones. Yeah.
My citrine somehow disappeared in my house. I don't know how, but I still haven't got a new one. But I know citrine is one of the best ones for abundance. But maybe I'm abundant enough. So maybe it just felt like it needed to go somewhere else or something.
It grew little legs and walked over to somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That is very funny.
It is.
So you had mentioned before that just our modern life and our modern demands on us can be draining. So many of us are feeling this way. We're burned out. We're struggling with anxiety and depression. How can we use crystals to protect us and protect our energy?
So many crystals have these protective properties, especially the black ones like black tourmaline or black obsidian or onyx or shungite, for instance. And these crystals kind of surround us with a protective energy field, like they shield us from energy vampires, from toxic energy, and they can also clear away any negative energy lingering in our aura. So I think mostly the black ones are really good for protection. They really do have strong protective properties, and they can actually keep us safe from other people's toxic energy and evil intentions.
Yes. Well, back to our discussion on unhealthy, dysfunctional, toxic relationships. Yeah, we can use these stones and these crystals to protect our energy in these situations.
Oh, yes, that's a really good point. Yes, of course, yes. If we are in these situations, we should definitely pay much more attention to protecting our own energy, because in this case, our energy might be leaking out of our system without us even knowing it. We might really lose our life force energy. I think I've experienced something like that, and it can really affect our health, our well-being for many years even. So
I agree.
So yes, protection is really, really important, especially in toxic relationships.
Right. Or especially when somebody's around a big group of people, or they're in a toxic situation like a job that is
yes,
overly masculine and toxic masculine at that. We're very sensitive. Help us. I think children really gravitate toward crystals.
Yes, that's true, actually. I've noticed that too. But
Really?
yeah, as you said, the busier social life or work schedule we have, the more protection we need, yes.
I think so too. I like to put crystals in my water as well. Like I'll have a pitcher of water and
yes.
some crystals in there. Now I know that there are certain crystals that you should not put in your drinking water.
There are actually, I'm not really like, I don't know exactly, I can't name all the crystals which shouldn't be used in water. I would always suggest researching each one before actually using it or putting it in the water. This is definitely the safest way, just to do a quick research with each crystal if it's safe or not. But I guess those like quartz is always safe, definitely, like the rose quartz and amethyst and these
clear quartz.
Yes, these are definitely safe ones. So
I know kyanite you do not want to. Selenite, no.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Those are some that you should not. So
Yeah.
I think it pays to do just a little bit of research as to it's safe to put near my food. Or you can always, there are bottles where you can put crystals in the bottom of the water bottle.
Yes. So that's like an easy option to, that's safe if you buy it as a product already, like pre-made.
There are even bottles where you can change the crystals in it. Right?
Yeah.
Switch it up.
Yes.
Now, it's a good idea to do a little bit of research. Don't ruin your health because of this, right?
Yes, because some crystals really do have toxic substances, and yes, it can be dangerous, of course.
Yes, very useful to do some research. What about people who don't believe that crystals have energies or healing properties? Like, what would you tell them?
Like, my personal mission is definitely not to convince anyone. Actually, I feel very strongly that we should always trust our own truth. I believe that each one of us knows what's best for us, and it's the outside advice is often useless because each one of us is on our own path, on our own soul journey in a way. So I feel like we all have everything we need inside of us. Really, we do have. So those who don't believe in the energetic healing properties of crystals, I think they can still use crystals for just look at their beauty, like admire their beauty, wear them as jewelry, decorate their homes with them. And they will still feel this joy by looking at the vibrant colors, and it can brighten up their day, or there's many benefits still. It doesn't really matter, I think, if you believe in the energetic healing properties or not.
That's right. I mean, there's beautiful jewelry. I've got on some turquoise.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's really beautiful.
Isn't it lovely?
That's
My daughter bought that for me for my birthday a couple of years ago. And I knew I was going to be doing 2 podcast interviews today. So I thought, I need a little boost for my throat, and selected the turquoise. So we can always find beautiful ways to incorporate crystals into our life. Right.
Yes, this turquoise color, I love it. I absolutely love it. Every time I need to write something or express myself, the blue ones, the bright blue ones are always the best ones, I feel. The turquoise ones and bright blue ones.
And it's very easy to find the properties of any crystal that you want to work with, any crystal or stone. There are apps, there are books, there are guides that tell you what the crystals, because I'm the worst. I will know that, oh, you know what? I would really like some tiger's eye, and I'll go and find it. Well, no, tiger's eye is a bad example because that's pretty easy to identify. But, like green jasper, and I might want some of that. And then I'll go to the gem and mineral show or the crystal shop, and I'll get some, and then I'll take it home and I'll put it on my shelf, and I'll forget which one that is.
Oh, yes, that can happen.
I know I have it and I'd like to use it, but I'm not sure which one that is. I got some, and then I've got some beautiful stones. I'm looking up on my shelf right now. I've got some beautiful stones, but I don't remember what they are. which is terrible. I think there's some apps for that you can, I mean, I think my point being, you can't really get it wrong.
No.
Right. Are there any sources that you like for crystal identification and crystal knowledge?
I've used so many different ones, actually. I don't really have a favorite one. Usually I just Google some crystal and I pick the source again by just trusting my intuition, which source seems somehow calling me or something like that. Because some sources have good information on some crystals, while others have more profound information on others. So I don't really have favorite ones.
There's an app that I like, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically crystal identifier that you can look it up and find out what the properties are. So useful resource. Now, where can people read your book, Crystals for Your Inner Goddess?
So Crystals for Your Inner Goddess is available on Amazon, Kindle, Barnes and Noble, and wherever books are sold. If you'd like more information, you can always visit my publisher's website at www.obooks.com, and obooks with a hyphen. So, yes.
Yes, I love O-Books. Gavin, the publicist, he is a marvel. He sends me people to interview. I love that guy. He's so great.
Yeah, he has really positive energy.
He does. He is a marvel. I love him. Now, I had looked all over for a website for you. Do you have a website?
No, at the moment, I have Facebook. So the Crystal Poems Facebook page that I mentioned before. So if you search for Crystal Poems, you'll find it. And then, of course, I have Instagram, Elina Allais. So that's ELINAALLAIS. That's it right now. But I'll definitely have a website coming up at some point soon, I hope.
Yeah. That's great. Yes, I'm looking at your crystal poems on Facebook now and following. So I'll put that in.
Oh, thank you. That's really, that's great.
And I'll also put your Instagram in the show notes as well, so people can follow you. And of course, like I said, I love poetry. And so I can't wait to dig in and read some of your poems about these wonderful tools that we have. So that was fun. Oh my goodness. All right. Is there anything that we haven't talked about, Elina, that you think is important to mention, important for our audience to know?
I think we've covered the main thing. Yeah. Oh, maybe the thing, I feel that my book, Crystals for Your Inner Goddess, it is a really good gift, maybe for all the women in our lives. It's a great gift for our mothers or daughters or girlfriends or just any woman we cherish in our lives. I feel like it would really help us women to step into our power.
Lift. Well, my birthday is actually tomorrow after we're recording this. So it's too late for when this comes out. It's coming out in a few weeks. But of course, like a true Leo, I'm celebrating all month long. So if anybody wants to send me a copy of this book, send one to your best girlfriend, right? That works too. Well, Elina, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been
Thank you.
Fun.
You have such an amazing energy. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Well, for the crystal lover in me sees the crystal lover in you. And I thank you so much for making time for me.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Don't know what to watch next? Decisions. Well, we've got some suggestions. You can click this little video here and watch that. It's something that we think you're going to like. If you like the last one, you're going to like that one too. You can also click on the subscribe button. And if you do that, then you'll get notifications whenever we have a new video up. Win-win, right?